One small thing that you can do toward living a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, that's the message these two people want to share. Chef Joe Ninnemann and dietitian Dee Gabbard are with Aurora Healthcare. And just in a moment, we'll tell you about a special event that's going to change the color of one of our local malls. But we want to welcome you both here to the Morning Blend.
Nice to have you.
Thanks for being here. So we're making a little soup today because it's Heart Health Month, and this is a heart healthy recipe, correct?
You betcha, absolutely. It's a portobello chicken lentil soup, as you said. You know, the great thing about a soup like this is that it's very simple, it's straightforward. Anybody can do it at home. It doesn't take a lot of time or effort to get it put together, and it also offers you the opportunity to be proactive with your family's health and choose real good ingredients, fresh vegetables, a portobello mushroom, some nice lean chicken, and make a fresh, tasty meal for your family at home.
I like that, and I love whenever chefs are here because they always measure everything out in advance, so everything looks so much easier once you do that. So why don't you go ahead and get started and just tell us about some of the ingredients that you initially add.
Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do when we start off with the soup is you want to just add your olive oil to your pan. A little bit of, and then what you want to do is we'll add the garlic and our onion, carrots, and celery, and what that's going to do is we're just kind of sweat them down, cook them a little bit before we get the rest of the soup going.
Sweat them down.
Yeah, sweat them down.
Yeah, not saute, but sweat them down.
Sweat them down, that's right.
Okay, so it's just a little bit of carrots, a little bit, is that celery or pepper?
This is celery here.
Celery,
so little carrots, onion, and celery is kind of the start of it. That'll generally take about 5 minutes or so just to kind of get them sweated out, get them a little cooked down, and then after that we're going to add our spices and our lentils. And what you really need to do is add the lentils and cook them down a little bit with either some chicken stock or, in this case, veggie stock, whatever you'd like to do, just to get them a little tender, because if you just throw them in there, they're going to stay a little firm and you're going to end up kind of like a hard bean, and that's not really what you want.
And that is not as tasty.
Right.
While you're doing a little bit more on that, I'm going to ask you, Dee, to talk a little bit from a nutritional standpoint, why this dish or this soup in particular is good for our heart.
Well, mostly it is lower in sodium than traditional soup that you might get in a can, but it's also low in fat, and we're looking at low saturated fat, low trans fat, and low cholesterol, and high in fiber with the lentils and the vegetables.
Well, as we're kind of thinking about heart health this month, you know, some of the things that you talked about are the reasons why that's a little bit healthier. Why else do you think, what should people look for guidelines? If they've been told that they might be at risk for heart disease, is it the sodium? What is it specifically people should pay attention to?
They should look at labels for sodium. They should use more fresh foods, less processed foods. They should use heart-healthy oils and soft margarines instead of hard fats. And then just shop the more produce and vegetables and fruits in their diet.
Those fresh things. Yeah, I think it's startling because I was reading about, you know, there's this rise in obesity, as we all know, a rise in diabetes among U.S. adults, but also among teenagers. And it seems like it's getting younger and younger. And people are developing high blood pressure. They have high blood sugar, high cholesterol. All of those things put them at a higher risk. We know for heart attack, stroke also, which is a big problem, and it seems to be happening to people younger and younger, or cardiovascular disease. So what's the message? Is it, because I think as parents, we probably need to introduce more of these fresh foods and start modeling better eating habits.
You are exactly right. You do want to put these foods, model good habits of eating fresh foods and preparing the meals and planning the menus as a parent.
Yeah, and I always think when it comes to vegetables and cut vegetables, if you do it kind of like once a week even, and you have them ready to go, people are so much more likely to eat them rather than taking the time every time you want to eat vegetables or something.
Yeah, or have your children help you with the menus. Have your children go to the grocery store with you, or try a new food each week. There's a lot of things you can do to bring your kids into it and have them learn to like fresh food too.
The aroma's smelling really good. What else have you added in there, and what are you adding now?
So now what we're working on, we're going to get our lentils in, some of our spices. It has some salt, some pepper, coriander, and some fresh rosemary and fresh basil. We're going to add all that stuff with just a little bit of chicken stock to help cook the lentils down, just get them a little tender. That process, if you're doing it at home, it's going to take about 10 minutes or so. Not super long, but once you get those lentils tender, what you're going to want to do is then add your chicken. We got our nice lean chicken here that I cut up ahead of time. And we have our grilled portobello mushroom caps.
Those are huge.
They are pretty big. This is only about 2 ounces of mushrooms, so it's pretty light. But what I did was grill them ahead of time, so I was ready to go here. But if you don't want to, you know, go outside in the winter to grill a portobello mushroom, you can do it on a stove. You can strip them ahead of time and cook them down with a little olive oil, or if you have a George Foreman, just throw them on the George Foreman, get a little marks on them just so that they're cooked down. It's going to take less time. So the biggest thing with portobello mushrooms is you can't really see it, but when you turn them over, they have black gills on the inside.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So
I've seen that.
you really want to, for the best presentation for your soup, is try to clean some of those gills out. Just take a spoon real lightly inside and you pull them out, and it'll prevent it from getting a real dark black color, because that's kind of what the gills do.
All right, while you do that, we're just going to ask Dee about this event because they're painting the mall red tomorrow.
Yes.
And you're wearing red, which is the perfect color to be talking about this. But you're going to be doing all sorts of things, including doing blood pressure checks and figuring out if people are at risk, right?
Yes, we're going to have some educational materials so they can know which numbers they should target for their blood pressure and their blood cholesterol, blood sugar, and things like that. We're also going to have soup samples. And the event is from 11 to 4. So
Okay.
11 to 4 with some cooking demonstrations in between and some booths.
Yeah, and I was reading that the cooking demonstrations begin at 11:30 and 1:30. You said it goes from 11 to 4. It's happening at Southridge Mall. So if people see red when they go to the mall, that's why. It's because it's Heart Healthy Month. You'll be able to learn how to cook this recipe. You'll have soup samples. You'll be doing blood pressure checks. You can learn your heart risk numbers and what you should be aware of. And all of that, again, is happening at Southridge Mall tomorrow from 11 to 4. Those cooking demonstrations twice during the day. And you can get more information by going to aurora.org/choosewell for more heart healthy recipes and heart health information. And Chef's dishing up the soup, isn't he?
There you
It
are.
looks
Oh, does that look
amazing.
good?
You got to try the little Parmesan on top,
Oh, okay.
otherwise
Oh,
you're not
that's
topping it off the
absolutely
right
fun.
way.
I like that.
Thank you so much,
You're
both of you.
welcome.
All right. Is it good? Yeah?
It's fantastic.
All right.
Thank
the
you very
recipe's
much.
on our
Appreciate
website,
it.
or again,
So
you
much.
can get it on Saturday as well. Thanks so much.
Thank
guys.
you.